Good afternoon, everyone. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Um, uh, Tonight, let me start out with one of the verses na favorite ko rin at madalas ko rin po itong sabihin when I'm speaking. No? Yung pong verse na faith without action is dead. No? Kung meron po tayong faith pero hindi naman po tayong kikilos, patay din ang faith natin. No? It's similar pero a little bit different sa kasabihan ng Pilipino na nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. Because if you put it that way, yung Filipino version, para bang in everything kaya nating gawin and then awa lang ng Diyos. But the reality is, there are things within our control that dapat tayo gumawa, and there are things naman that are not in our control, and of course that's where we pray for divine guidance, di ba? So like for example dito sa crisis ngayon sa new coronavirus or sa COVID-19, di ba? Kung hindi tayo magso-social distance, kung hindi tayo magse-stay at home, kung yung ubuhan natin lahat ng katabi natin, if we ignore the science, no, that is being explained to us, we can't now say na awa ng Diyos. In that sense, kaya nating gawin. But let's say in the sense na yung discovery of a vaccine o kahit gamot, yes, we're doing everything we can, but that wisdom or that knowledge has to come from God. That's why pinagpre-pray natin na dumating yung knowledge na yan, no? So, this afternoon, I want to update everyone on two things, what we did today at yung mga agencies that we coordinated with, no? The other one is we want to inaayos ko lang yung isa kong phone, sorry. I want to discuss also yung disinformation or yung tinatawag na fake news, no? So, umpisa muna po tayo sa isa sa most talked about topics, yung pong sa 5 to 8,000 pesos per family for 18 million families under the Bayanihan We Heal as One Act. Okay. So, yesterday naman siguro po I tried to explain, no? So today, yung back and forth po natin with DSWD, and we sent them a final letter with an infographics. So basically, at para hindi ako magkamali po, I'll read from my notes, no? Yan. So basically, we want to oversimplify the process. The first part of the process, DSWD enters into a Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, with the LGU. So, pwedeng province, city, municipality. Okay? The next step is LGU identify and validates the beneficiaries. The third step is LGU distributes the resources, the money, yung 5 to 8,000. And the fourth step is LGU liquidates sa DSWD. So, I'll take you through it step by step, no? So, yung MOA kasi will enable the DSWD to download the funds dun sa city, municipality, or province. At yan po, may guidelines na po ang ating pirmado ng ating Executive Secretary Miguel Dia na pwede nang gawin yan, no? So, this is what it will look like. If let's say, you're mayor of City A, no, in the Visayas, and you have 100,000 households, at sa record ng gobyerno, ang qualified sa inyo ay 60,000 households, i-inform na kayo na may 60,000 households na bibigyan. And then, meron na po kayong MOA with DSWD. So, ang gagawin po, with the barangay officials, i-distribute bahay-bahay ang form. Huwag po natin pagdamutan ang form. So, kung sinabi po ng isang bahay na yon, boss, 3 kaming pamilya dito, form pa lang yan i-validate pa yan. Ibigay mo yung 3 form. Okay. After ibigay yung form, let's say if they give it in the morning at kaya nilang balikan sa hapon, or kung bibigay nila sa hapon, babalikan nila the next morning, ang suggestion po namin, yung validation team, kasama na nila sa pagkuha. So, halimbawa, ako kausap, sabihin ko, sir, Dalawa po kami ni Lani dito po sa bahay, isa pong household po kami, no? But let's say po meron akong kasama pa, no, na isang pamilya sa likod nakatira. So sabihin ko, sir, bigyan nyo rin sila ng form. Okay. So pag vinalidate po 'yon, the next day, yun po ang tingin namin na approval na rin. So pagbigay po sa LGU, sa municipality, city, or sa province, gagawin na yung payroll. So after the payroll, dun po yung part 3, distribution of payout, bahay-bahay na po to. At meron po kami nilagay na infographics na kailangan may face gear at saka or goggles, may gloves, may alcohol, may mask, o face shield, no, kung tawagin, and then may pagkain at transportation yung team. So pag ikot kasi nila, ibibigay na, tapos kunan na lang ng picture para no touch na, di ba? Sa ballpen or sa papel, ikukunin mo lang yung envelope na binigay sa'yo. So ang pinakamaraming tanong po sa atin, sinong kasama dito? The quickest response that I can give you is 3/4 of all Filipino families. No, meaning out of 24.6 million Filipino families, 18 million bibigyan. So, the quickest answer I can give you, if you think you are in the poorest 3/4, dapat mabigyan kayo. Okay. So, let me address myself sa mga LGUs. Pag tingin nyo kulang yung binigay sa inyo, di ba, unahin nyo na yung binigay sa inyo, house to house yan, then may sistema naman yan na makre-create to be able to, to be able to come back for the others. So let me go back to a principle that we asked the DSWD to agree with us with. By the way, this is a principle na in-espouse na rin ng ating Pangulo, or in a way it was an instructions, and it is also what's best for the Filipino people. What is this principle? That we get the resources to every Filipino family that needs it in the quickest possible time, in a way that has the least number of regulations or guidelines. So ulitin ko po yun, ha. Ang prinsipyo po natin, lahat ng pamilyang nangangailangan, pinakamabilis na maabot sa inyo with the minimum requirements and guidelines, no? So, pasensya na po kayo mga kapatid natin sa DSWD, sa DOLE, sa DA, no? Hindi po kami nagkri-criticize, but of course, any additional requirement na tingin namin hindi necessary at this time, just for language, no, for our communication, tatawagin po talaga nating red tape, di ba? Kasi we have to define red tape as anything that will hinder us from delivering at the quickest possible time, di ba? So for example, no, may ilan impormasyon na hinihingi para hindi madoble, no? So ang sabi po namin sa DSWD, tama 'yon. Kung very practical na way na malaman na wag madoble, halimbawa may box lang na i-check mo lang kung member ka ng 4Ps o hindi. Kasi kung member ka ng 4Ps, sa account mo dadalin yon. So pabayaan mo naman na yung kapitbahay mo naman ang makakuha, 'di ba? Kasi hindi nga pwede magdoble. Pero kung halimbawa yung form katulad ng pinakita ko sa inyo nung isang araw, masyadong mahaba, you have to fill up for your whole family, we think that will delay. That's why we're suggesting na gamitin pa rin yung form na pinakita ko in the last few days, pero gamitin it secondarily after makuha nyo na yung pera. Gumawa ng bagong form na napakasimple, name, contact number, yung basic information lang, ilan kayo sa pamilya, etc. Pero yung parang biodata type ng information, ang tingin po namin, that can follow. Total po, the government has prepared for 2 months, April and May. So, may pangalawang bigayan pa naman ito. So, in the same letter, upon verification with DSWD, I don't know kung na-release na kahapon or kung today, but we're recommending together with DSWD na lahat na may listahan sila at meron ng cash card, no? Ibig sabihin po may delivery system aside from house to house, ay i-download na ng DSWD ng DBM, Department of Budget Management, no, to the DSWD para i-deposit na sa mga account. Sa 4Ps pa lang, 4.4 million na to. Meron din pong unconditional cash transfer at marami pa pong ibang listahan ang DSWD na may cash card na, no? So this will simplify the process, meaning kung ibabahi-bahi dapat ay 18 million families minus 4.4, 'di ba? So that's 13.6 na lang. Kung may mga programa with 100,000, 500,000, a million beneficiaries, then you can keep doing that, no? You can keep moving there. So, let me wait po for the response of the SWD. By the way, wala pong delay in the sense that they issued already the guidelines, but they can amend it anytime. And hindi nga namin nilagay dun sa ibang comments na masama or pangit to. What we did is to put na i-clarify. Kasi minsan po sa papel, iba yung intention. Pero yun din po ang hiningi namin. For example po, no, nakalagay doon that there will be a strategic communication strategy. There will be a communication strategy from DSWD to the LGU prior dun sa ibigay. So suggestion namin, tanggalin lang yung word na prior kasi baka akala nung LGU habang wala pa yon, hindi pa kayo nagse-session whether through the internet or Zoom or any application or bababa sa inyo yung taga DSWD, baka akala hindi pa nyo pwedeng i-distribute. Minsan yung circular alone is already the communication. So that's an example, no, of something that's not red tape. It's only susceptible for miscommunication. Kaya gumawa kami ng recommendation regarding that, no. So dun sa mga nagtatanong sinong kasama, sinong hindi, as I told you po, depending on your specific circumstance, maraming programa ang gobyerno and those programs have not been set aside and they have a different funding, different pa ho dun sa 275 billion na funding sa Bayanihan We Heal as One, no? So ang inuuna ko lang po explain yung para sa lahat because it's very urgent, very important, it's a necessity, kailangan na, no? Kinahanglan na maabot, 'di ba, na dumating na po sa inyong bahay-bahay po ang forms and then yung resources. So we tried to take, kasi dun sa nakita namin na sistema, maraming validation level ng barangay, level ng DSWD, level ng LGU. And sa normal mga programa natin, tama yan. But now that it's a national emergency, you know, the safeguard shouldn't, hindi dapat tayo masakal sa safeguards na ang mangyayari naman, hindi dumating sa inyo ang pera. No? I mean, sa Facebook, marami na nga nagsasabing, anin ang damo kung patay na ang kabayo. No? So yes, kailangan natin siguraduhin ilan kabayo yan, nasaan kabayo yan, anong damo ang kailangan natin ibigay. But we simplified it, 5 to 8,000 for 18 million families. So in the same manner po na hiningi sa amin ng economic team at ng executive secretary na hinihingi ng Pangulo, maging very flexible, ibigay lang yung batas, yung Bayanihan to Heal as One, bigay flexibility kasi changing ang adapting po ang circumstance natin dito sa COVID-19. To defeat COVID-19, they need the flexibility. Yun din po hinihingi namin, di ba? May check and balance, so dito po may oversight committee sa batas. Kaya sa letter po namin ang pumirma yung 4 na miyembro ng oversight committee na ito po ay nilalaman po nito suggestions nung lahat ng miyembro ng Kongreso na nag-send sa amin, no, ng House of Representatives, no. So let me go naman. Yesterday I was talking about PPEs, no, yung personal protective equipment, primarily po for doctors, for nurses, radiologists, health professionals, but also for the other frontliners like yung ating mga police, ating pong mga nasa checkpoints, di ba? And those na marami pa ring hinaharap every day. Let me say muna, no, na wala talagang pinipili yung disease na to, ha. Walang religion, walang language, walang ethnicity, mayaman ka o mahirap, 20 years old ka, 40, 80 years old. Meron lang pong iba na mas susceptible kaso sa iba, no? So, naalala ko po yon because I was talking to Sec Anyo. And, you know, sabi, medyo, siyempre, masama loob ko po na, you know, and I'm very concerned for him kasi he's one of the people na quiet workers na grabe talaga magtrabaho, no? And who could imagine 2 wars during his short lifetime in the short political lifetime during the Duterte administration? He would have to lead it, di ba? One was in Marawi when he was AFP Chief of Staff. Then of course pumunta sa drug war, pero marami naman po nandyan, di ba? Si DG Aaron ng PDEA, and of course DND, AFP, DILG. Pero dito po sa IATF at DILG, bilang po sa nagsusupervise sa ating LGU, frontline po talaga si Sec Anyo, no? So but despite testing positive, 24/7 pa rin po siya kahit anong oras tawagan. So nakasingit din po ako ng tawag sa kanya kanina, and we were talking about the curfew naman, and it's the same topic that I discussed with Secretary Charlie Galvez, no? Dati din nating AFP Chief of Staff po yan. And I think may consensus naman po talaga na yung sinabi ko po sa inyo kahapon na kinote ko from the President of Ghana. Madaling buhayin ang ekonomiya, ang tao na patay, hindi mo na kayang buhayin. So actually, the public health strategy, ibabangga po ito doon po sa strategy natin sa economics. So yes, as soon as we can open more areas or sectors of our economy, we should do that. But I think let's give Sec Anyo and Sec Galvez the time to explain to you the numbers, the strategy of identifying, testing, and treating, and yung tinatawag sa buong mundo ngayon po ng kailan yung peak o apex at ano yung curve, di ba? Kasi pagka tinanggal natin yung curfew before this, lahat ng sinasabi namin po sa inyo the last few weeks na social distancing, stay at home, let's all consider ourselves nakakahawa, hindi dapat tayo manghawa, no? Becomes a problem, no? Because people will now say, ano nangyari? Wala na bang mahahawa, or safe na ba kami umikot? And even yung mga tao po sa Wuhan, napapanood ko po sa CNN, BBC, nung sinabi na kung ilang araw at pwede na silang lumabas, some of them sa trauma nga, sabi, hindi muna, they'll give it a few more days to make sure, di ba? So, let's trust po the IATF and the leadership po ni Secretary Galvez, Secretary Anyo, na i-update po tayo niyan. Yung economic team naman po, nililink up naman nila yung mga businessmen. Kahit naman po yung mga mall owners, for example, of course, every day na hindi sila nagbubukas, marami pong nalulugi at sa bottom line nila, apektado. Sa financing nila, sa stock market, sa utang nila sa bangko, apektado. Pero they care for their customers. They don't want anyone to die or to get severely sick just because they want to open up. So I think we're all in the same level of balancing, no? So yung human nature po, yung power of our mind, yung emotions natin, hindi natin pwedeng baliwalain during this time, di ba? Like ako po, no? I really want to visit my mother, no? Nami-miss ko na po talaga ang mami ko, and I was really very busy since the speakership fight and that, no? So although I tried to make time, it's not as regular na dapat. But since she's a little bit older nga, di ba? Di ko na sasabihin yung age. We ask her not to see any of her children muna or to stay with my brother Renren muna, di ba? Bakit? Dahil po si Senator Pia may trabaho sa Senado, and dati po siyang chairman ng health, so very active siya doon. Lalo na po si Mayor Lino, na even his own family, the first 2 weeks, nag-rent muna siya sa hotel, hindi po muna siya nag-umuwi because nga, he's seeing several people during that day. So, pinakiusapan namin yung brother namin si Ren, pwede ba siya yung pang safety, siya medyo yung magkulong ng konti, and then siya po ang parang mag-a-advise sa pamilya kung may magkasakit sa pamilya or anything, no? But that doesn't mean I don't miss them. You know, when my dad was around in this world, no? He's now in heaven, of course. Every Sunday dinner, walang patid yon. Mga kapatid niya, iba naming pinsan, at yung pamilya nagkikita-kita. So we tried to do that throughout the years, pero habang lumalaki ang pamilya, iba-iba schedule. Pero nito pong, siguro tong January po, no? Especially nung may pinagdadaanan din po kami sa Kongreso, yung rumors nung coup and everything, no? Yung sa ABS-CBN franchise, yung medyo toxic po yung media atmosphere during that time. It was very comforting to me na nagpapa-lunch kami dito sa bahay at yung buong pamilya pumupunta dito. Just when we were getting it regular, nangyari yung quarantine and then yung enhanced community quarantine, then enhanced community quarantine. But despite that, I was able to see Lino and kami ni Lani to communicate dun sa mga ground commanders namin dito sa syudad ng Taguig at Pateros. Sa Pateros, we were able also to connect to dating Vice Mayor and Councilor Jojo during that time, and then to dating Mayor Joey na ngayon General Manager ng LLDA, at nilalapit din nilang dalawa ni Consel Jojo Sanchez yung mga marginalized fishermen sa Laguna Lake na sakop ni Joey ngayon, no? But nung nag-positive si Congressman Yap, we're forced to work through phones, through the internet dito sa bahay. And then later on, nung nalaman namin negative, nakalabas kami ilang araw. Pero nung positive si Sec Anyo, siya po kasama namin sa session hall at sa opisina ko nung March 23, napilitan po kami na dito muna po talaga sa bahay magtrabaho. So, despite us all adapting, part of our adapting is our emotions, is our feelings, is our faith. It's what important to us, no? Another thing that comforts a lot of people and allows us to speak to God directly is going to church. But that's not now possible only through online. So, yung pagkagawa sa tao, naghahanap tayo ng kapwa-tao, di ba? We want to be with each other, no? We want to be with our barkada, we want to be with our family. So this is part of yung pag-a-adapt natin sa kanila. That's why kung makikita nyo po, ba't natin tinawag na heroes ang OFWs? Kasi po, umalis sila sa bansa to provide for their family, but yung sinakripisyo po nila ay walang katumbas. Yung oras po, yung physical contact, yung personally being there, makipagkwentuhan, yung importanteng mga dates sa pamilya, like yung birthday ng anak, yung graduation ng anak, yung may sakit yung asawa, yung maalagaan man lang, 'di ba? I remember once, no, yung isang konsehal na pinaka-close sa akin, si Councilor Bert Roa, kasama ko 1992, when he passed away, panay-iyak nung asawa at sinasabi sa akin, Congressman, si Alan, si Bert, yung kambal mo, no? Joke namin po 'yon kasi medyo po siya, singlaki ni Ike Losada na maitim. So, every time magsasalita ako sa entablado, siya naman ang magsasalita, sasabihin niya, ako po ang kambal ni Alan. So, magtatawanan ng mga tao, tapos sasabihin niya, bakit naman po Sosmer Joseph ang inyong reaksyon? So, ganun po ang sinasabi niya. So, biroan po namin, magkambal kami. And so, yung wife niya, sinasabi sa akin, Lan, Congressman, ba't ganon, hindi man lang nagpaalaga sa akin? So I spent quite some time telling her na, no one wants anyone to move to the next world. Pero, no one wants anyone to suffer. But she was saying, hindi, kahit 3 araw, kahit 1 linggo, sana nagpaalaga sa atin. So doon yung po makikita yung human nature, di ba? We don't want our loved ones to suffer. But we also know that part of suffering is them not feeling us. No, hindi lang physical na feeling us, hindi lang yung takpik sa balikat, hindi lang yung isang matinding hug, hindi lang yung makita kang nagsasmile o umiiyak, no? But all parts of humanity, all parts of life that makes us human, no? And that's one thing that I think we all have to remember about our OFWs. No, it's hindi sa laki ng kita, sa advancement sa career nila. It's the fact that they uprooted from the people they love most in order to take care of them. But now we're having a little bit of a dose of that by not being able to see our office mates, our church mates, mga kapitbahay, by having to stay at home. Pero we're much blessed pa rin ng OFWs while they're facing this threat alone kung nasaan man sila sa buong mundo, tayo po kasama natin sa bahay ang ating pamilya. Which bring me to the topic I wanted to discuss with you today, fake news or disinformation. Alam nyo po, kahit sa first year law school, no, sa batas, constitutional law kasi isa sa unang subject yan. At yung freedom of expression, isa sa vital po yan sa isang demokrasya, sa isang society. Nakita po natin yung effects pagka may dictatorship or during the times ng absolute monarchy, nung yung utos ng hari hindi nababali, how curtailing freedom of speech really affects people and governance, and how it keeps information from flowing and keeps us from making the right decisions, no? So, ito pong tinuturo sa first year law school is this: may limitation ang freedom of expression. For example po, no? Etong example na paulit-ulit na binibigay kung nanonood ang aking constitutional law professor Dean Cedric Candelaria, we haven't forgotten yung mga tinuturo nyo, na if you shout fire, fire, or sunog, sunog, sinigaw nyo po sa loob ng sinihan at nagkaroon ng stampede, pwede kang kasuhan. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na freedom of expression yon. Bakit? Dahil sa ginawa mo, nakasakit ka ng tao. No? So kung may natulak, may natumba, may nasugatan, may napatay dun sa sinihan dahil sa'yo, wala naman sunog, sumigaw ka ng sunog. And remember, during this time, nasa law school po ako, 1993, bago pa ho yung cellphone nung Nokia noon, wala pang social media sa atin, wala pang Facebook sa palagay ko, at least sa atin. Alam nyo po, ngayon mas madaling sumigaw ng sunog. 'Di ba? So, kung halimbawa, dodoktorin natin yung official letterhead ng Kongreso, in this case po, yung ginamit yung seal at saka yung seal po ng Kongreso at gumawa ng Twitter account, although nakalagay 18 Congress, tapos may kasunod na nilagay, no? Ano ba eksaktong nilagay niya? Let me see sa cellphone ko, no? But even if nilagay niya yon, it really caused confusion. Akala nung tao, official po yun sa Kongreso. Tapos, whether satire yon or kung ano man, di ba, nakalagay Twitter account @house_files. Tapos may official seal ng House of Representatives, di ba? So, kaya nga po tayo sinama natin sa batas, sa Bayanihan We Heal as One, because hindi ka pwedeng sumigaw ng sunog pag walang sunog, because marami pong masasaktan. So, kung halimbawa po ngayon ipopost ko na sa ganitong barangay may 10 milyon, pinamimigay na 8,000 per family, nagkaroon ng stampede, ginulo lahat ng barangay na yon, tingin nyo po ba responsible yon? So, I'm not even going po to yung media, ha, at saka yung misreporting or yung panawagan natin na maging mas masipag sa research or mag-verify, no? Sa online po kasi ngayon, sa .com, unahan pabilisan So, kung halimbawa, Manila Bulletin Online, Inquirer.com, Philippine Star Online, yung ibang mga tabloids po, no? Also, Rappler, Reuters. Ang problema po, pagka naglabas yung isa at ikaw wala pa, nauunahan ka. Pero, yung traditional journalism, I think, has to come back during this period of national emergency. Pick up the phone. Tawagan nyo muna, i-verify nyo muna. Diba? Kahit kami sa Southeast Asian Games, hanggang ngayon, sinasabi nila, overpriced yung kaldero. Kahit na po yan ay na-verify na, napakita na isa po sa mura yan, mas mura sa ibang countries na ginanap yung Southeast Asian Game, yung kikiam, no, na it ended out hindi kikiam, and it ended up na nireport ng maraming news agencies na hindi man lang tinawagan yung hotel para tanungin, or yung lumabas internationally, nagpakain tayo ng baboy sa Muslim, na alam po natin lahat na napakasama nun, hindi pala totoo, no? Kasi walang pork doon, no? At hindi kikiam ang sinerve, no? So, those are examples. But during those times, it's normal times. We have all the resources. We can call press cons. We can come up with clarificatory statements. Another example po, yung pinalabas na kaya sinentralize yung donation sa gobyerno para si Bongo daw siya pwedeng pamigay. It's very unfair po kay Senator Bongo because he's such a hard worker, no? Nung before nagkaroon ng quarantine, he'd go around sa umaga, and that's a project we started together, yung going to yung mga nasunugan, and he took it to the next level, no, by being able to give them real money or mas malaki po na aid. And then po he would go to his office in the Senate and take care of Senate work session, and then go back to the palace to take care of the president. So madalas ko sabihin, nakapagpahinga ka ba, Mista ang tawag ko sa kanya kasi magka-batch kami na adopted sa PMA, class 92. So ang sagot parati ni Bong, yes Mista, don't worry, nakatulog ako 3 oras or 4 na oras. One time, sabi niya sa akin, in the last 20 years, dun lang siya nagkasakit, masama tiyan niya, tsaka parang, I think, nag-LBM. So, 1 hour later, chinek ko, kamusta ka na? Ang sagot niya yung 3 lugar na naikot na niya. No? Akala ko, ang ibig niya sabihin ng masama tiyan niya, hindi ata nag-LBM, parang sumusuka siya, pero obviously may nakain siyang masama. Yung pala, nag-rest siya ng 15 minutes, then umikot din, no? So it's very unfair to people like Bong and any other person, no, whether in the administration of the opposition who's just trying to work hard and then false yung news and then pipick upin ng media, no. So yun ang pakiusap ko po sa mga kapatid natin sa media. Baka kailangan po natin ng ibang paradigm o ibang framework during times of national crisis. Yes, it's true na ang daling sabihin sa media, during this time better walang scoop. Pero actually baliktad during this time better na hindi nag-aagawan sa isang scoop. Pero during this time kasi, nasa bahay lahat, pati yung mga reporters restricted ang pag-iikot. Whoever gets the news first o isang scoop, yung outlet niya gets to the people much faster. But for example, sa ABS-CBN, and I have to thank for them, naka-national hookup sila during the program of Secretary Andanar and Yusek Raki, and this is very helpful. Ganun din sa Bombo, RH, hindi ko po alam lahat nung naka-hook up, no? But that's not a traditional paradigm. Kasi may mga advertisers yan at usually, ang gusto nila, lalo yung mga guests na pinag-aagawan, unahan sila kung sino. But the media is coming together, no? So baka we can also come together in verifying news reports. Kasi nauna ka nga, peke naman yung news mo, mali naman, di ba? So, and especially if it causes harm. You know, so which brings me to the point of noise. Yung ingay, no? I remember one time po, yung presentation ni Seth Godin, ine-explain niya kung ano ang advertising, no? Pinakita po niya isang grocery na black and white pa nung panahon na yon. So sabi niya, eto ang grocery. Ano ang advertising? Pinakita niyo po, kinolored niya yung isa. Let's say kung Coke yan or Pepsi o kung yan po ay Pure Food or Swift na hotdog, no? Kinolor lang isa. So sabi niya, kanina is the sea of products. Yan yung lahat ng produkto. Ang advertising, kinocolor mo para makita, no? So yung branding or yung pag-highlight po nung advantages nung product mo or yung selling points nung product mo. So long story short po, ang next scene, pinakita niya, colored na lahat. So sabi niya, nung colored na lahat, nag-a-advertise na lahat, again, how can you be more unique? Paano magsa-stand out? How do you communicate your message? So, yung black and white lahat or yung colored lahat, yun po yung noise. Sa dami po ng news ngayon, sa dami natin babasahin sa social media at sa news, yan po ang noise So, it's hard to hear the music when it's noisy. It's hard to hear someone speaking pagka maingay. So, di ba, sino po sa atin na walang tatay o lolo o nanay na stricto na pag nagbi-meeting o nagdi-dinner ang pamilya at okay lang lahat magkwentuhan but suddenly one member of the family may importante sabihin, attention, everyone, attention muna. Because you want to cut through the noise, di ba? You want to be able to communicate and get that message there. Walang kaibahan sa kasal. Di ba, sa kasal, nasa reception na, everyone is enjoying. So whether sa 5-star hotel or nasa likuran lang ng bahay mo yung reception, 'di ba, pag may kumuha ng kutsarita o ng kutsara and then kinuha yung baso, ding ding gaganon mo, 'di ba? Ang ibig sabihin nun, tahimik lahat at dapat mag-kiss ang groom at bride. So that's the same thing. You're cutting through the noise by using that and having that sound sa baso. So let's help people and let's help the media and let's help the task force and President Duterte to cut through the noise by not having any fake news or false information or disinformation, di ba? Kasi hindi naman natin madidikta anong news ang importante at hindi. To different people, different kinds of news are important, no? So, yun po ang gusto ko sanang ipaabot today. Sorry po, ang bilis ng mga questions, but like dito po, sabi ng mayor namin, dito isang form lang daw po bawat bahay. Sorry po, I don't know who your mayor is, but kung nakikinig siya, sir, pakibaguhin po yan kasi yung form po per household, hindi per house. So meaning kung sa isang bahay, meron pong nagrerenta doon at tatlo sila, lalaki at babae, mag-asawa at yung anak, isang household yon. Yung may-ari na pamilya, nandun, tatlo anak, sa isang household yon. Kung kapatid niya na may dalawang anak din, nandun din yung asawa, kasama din sa bahay, tatlong household yon. So, tatlong form po ang dapat ibigay. So, let me clarify po that household. Mayor, kung nakikinig ka man or kung you're in a similar nagtatanong din, that's why po ang ibibigay po ng DSWD na listahan sa inyo, hindi po number of houses, number of households po ang ibibigay sa inyo. So yung 18 million Filipinos out of 24.6 million po, yan po ay number of households, hindi po yan number of houses. Okay? So, let me see kung may 1 or 2 questions pa. So ang tanong pa rin dito, kasama ba workers, kasama ba urban poor, kasama ba senior citizens? Opo, pero per household po ito. Yung 5 to 8,000 po, lahat po ito. I'm not talking about, kasi po may senior citizen din na ubod ng yaman, ha? So kung ikaw po ay senior citizen, pero nandun ka sa 6.6 million Filipinos na nakakaangat sa buhay sa ating bansa, hindi ka kasama. Pero kung senior citizen ka na walang income at you belong to the 18 million Filipinos po that need help, definitely po kasama po kayo, no? Ito po, unfair daw na nasa 4-piece siya pero yung anak niya hindi mabibigyan. Kung yung anak mo po ay iba ang household, so for example po 4-piece ka, yung panganay mo 21 years old, may iba na siyang may pamilya na siya, no, pero ikaw may mga anak ka pa na nasa elementary at high school, ikaw ang covered sa 4-piece. So kung ang natatanggap mo sa 4-piece ay 2,000, dadagdagan po ng 6,000 yan sa inyong cash card. Pero yung anak mo na hindi kasama sa 4-piece, pero kung kasama pa rin siya sa 18 million Filipinos po na dapat bigyan, mag-fill up siya ng separate form. So, yun po yung kaibahan po ng household, kaya may head of the family. Siguro nako-confuse natin na pag isang pamilya ba ay isa lang bang form. So, let's say si Lola at si Lola, malakas at buhay na buhay, no? Tapos may anak sila, 5. Yung isa na lang po 18 years old, yung isa 23, yung isa 25, yung isa 30, yung isa 35. Yung 4 may pamilya na, no? So, yung pong anak na bunso at si Lola at Lolo, yun po ang isang household. Yung 4 po na anak na may pamilya na, separate 4 households po yan. Meron po tayong mga household ngayon na 4 na generation na. No? Ibig sabihin may apo na sa tuhod. So kung yung apo mo may asawa na rin, ibang household na rin po yun. No? So anyway po, ang recommendation ko, mga mahal po nating mayors, dagdagan nyo na lang po ang pag-print ng form. Kasi hindi naman po ibig sabihin na naabutan ng form, approved na yan. Kasi the next day, after ma-fill upan yung form, may validation team. At yung team magva-validate. At yung taga-barangay, kilala nyo naman sa barangay kung nanloloko o hindi. Paano kung madoble? May bigayan pa naman next month sa May . Di kung nadoble, nakuha mo na ng April 2, 16,000 ang nakuha mo instead of 8,000, mako-correct natin sa Mayo yan, na advance mo na. So there are a lot of creative and flexible ways or creative ways of getting things done. Magtulong-tulong na lang po muna tayo. And let me again end with gratitude. Salamat Lord God sa buhay. Salamat po sa lahat ng hindi tinatamaan po ng COVID-19 and you're keeping them safe. Doon po sa tinatamaan, we thank you Lord for your healing power. We ask you to heal these people Lord. Especially po yung mga doktor at saka mga nanggagamot, yung mga nagsasacrifice. Layo nyo sila sa kapamakan. No? We ask this in Jesus' name. Thank you po sa lahat ng donors, sa lahat ng tumutulong. A lot of people are doing it very quietly. And salamat po sa bayanihan. Yung iba po may pera, sila nakakabili. Pero wala silang means na i-distribute, iba nagdi-distribute. Yung nagdi-distribute, minsan nasa probinsya or outside Metro Manila, nasa ibang regions, nasa ibang cities around the country. Yung iba naman po, ang donation nila is getting to them, whether air cargo or by sea or by land. So, tulong-tulong po tayo lahat. Magandang gabi po. God bless you all. Salamat po sa pag-tune in nyo po at sana po nakakatulong po ang mga updates ko sa inyo. God bless sa mga kasamahan ko po sa 18th Congress. God bless you. Continue working hard.